Where are you?
Right here. Right here.
Oh!
Yeah.
Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Cooperate, a couple that loves to play board games.
And solving crimes.
Well, not real crimes, because I don't know how well we would do it.
Real crimes. This is our Check It Out series where we showcase various games to you in hopes of inspiring you to play some of them. And this week we're bringing you MicroMacro Crime City.
MicroMacro! Full House Crime City.
Now these two games are designed by Johannes Sich and published by Pegasus Spiele. Now the first one actually won the Spiel des Jahres, which is a very prominent board game award. So Board Game of the Year!
Yeah! And Full House just came out a couple months ago. So we're excited to show you both of them today.
Ooh. Well, what are they?
Well, MicroMacro, either version, is basically just this giant map where you're trying to solve crimes that have happened around the city. You'll be given prompts throughout the game, trying to help you figure out what exactly is going on, and then hopefully you'll be able to solve the crime. Excuse me, I cannot see.
Oh!
Yes. Well, let's give you a quick look at how to play the game. You'll begin by setting up. Place this gigantic piece of paper in the center of the board so that everybody has visibility of the whole thing. And then you're ready to begin.
You'll select the difficulty of the case that you wish to pursue. For the purpose of this overview, we'll take a look at the top hat introductory case. You read the flavor text and then find the individual you're looking for. So now we know he's between Neptune Park and the hardware store. As you locate the individual you're looking for at various times of the day, you'll acquire more clues to solving your crime. You'll follow the prompts on your cards and eventually solve the crime. And that's essentially the game. You'll play cooperatively to solve various crimes. And there's over 16 just in this one.
Exactly.
As well as some bonus hidden crimes that you'll just have to figure it out on your own.
The map is very gigantic and it's pretty awesome.
Are you going to be a good crime solver?
Oh.
Well, what do you think of MicroMacro?
I really like this game. It's fun and it reminds me of like Where's Waldo? It's like black and white too, which actually makes it more difficult because if it was colored, I think that it would be very easy to like spot out the character.
Well, you could color all of it.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
I can give you the pencil crayons and then you can do that for us.
No, thank you.
Why not?
Because.
But yeah, I agree. Where's Waldo definitely gives that vibe, but it's really neat because you see such a dynamic living city because there's various stages that these characters are in and it's almost like you're time traveling in the same map.
Multiple times with multiple different people, which is really cool. Yeah, and you can get like caught up in like following somebody else's like timeline, and that's really neat because whether or not it's relevant to another case you might be looking into, maybe it's not relevant at all and it's just tossed into the map, which is super cool.
Yeah, there's so much innovation in this game that it just keeps me coming back for more. And I'm so happy that they have the full house now. Yeah. That's even more crimes for me and Tyler to solve.
And don't forget that you can actually just like do the crimes like with just the introductory card. You don't need to follow the prompts that are given. Extra
challenging.
Yeah, and it's not only extra challenging, but then you can like make up the story as you go. And like there's one case that comes to my mind where there's this building and then there's something going on in the building, but we were just like, oh yeah, it's gotta be that this is going on in the building. Was it right? Compared to the cards, no. But was it a good story? Yes.
Imagination. Well, why should you check out MicroMacro?
I'll just reiterate it again that it is very cool that you get to like build these stories, even like if you're playing with the cards or without the cards. It's very cool to like build the story and that timeline out, and it's very nostalgic again because it feels like a Where's Waldo, an elevated Where's Waldo. Yeah.
It also progresses in difficulty. So you can do some of the easier cases where the characters are kind of wide in the open, pretty easy to locate, but then some of the more difficult cases, maybe the character's a little bit behind a building and they're just kind of peeking out. So they're a little bit more difficult to find, but that's the challenge behind it. And I really appreciate that skill and difficulty as well.
And you don't know what like part in the timeline you're starting in. So you could be at the very end, at the very beginning, like somewhere in between.
Time travel.
Yeah. Boom.
But last but certainly not least, it's also a very inviting game because it takes up so much table space. If you have this out, someone's bound to be like, what are you doing here in this restaurant, sir? Like, please put your huge map away. But then the next thing you know, they're diving in there trying to solve the crime because we know this person was here. We know they were here a little bit ago. But what do they have to do? Where are they going? Why did they buy a ring? Are they going to propose? But is their wife murdered?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
So why shouldn't you check it out?
Well, because the map is so big, sometimes if you hunch over the table for too long, you might get a hurt back or a hurt neck. Because you just want to solve all the crimes and you don't want to take breaks. Yeah. But I remember like just diving, especially when it's like on the other side of the table, you're just like, ugh. So...
Yeah, that's a good point. You do have to like either like communicate with your the people you're playing with to be like, hey, can you like follow my trail from here because I can't see over there, or you do have to stretch over the table.
Or you can just hang it up on the wall, which I think we need to do eventually.
That would be cool. That would be cool. I think the reason, just to like add to that, the hurt back can also like almost relate to somebody taking over the game, because it is one of those things where like if you see the starting point on the map and then you find the next step, then like you're bound to find the step after that, the step after that. Like it is this progressive thing, like where if you
the story grows.
Yeah, and if you aren't like the first person to find it, then it is like hard to catch up, and because of that it feels like you miss out on the experience of like finding what's going on. And sometimes that isn't exactly like what people are looking for in a game.
One person can certainly take over and drive the whole game.
Yeah.
Where other people can be more in the background, but it depends on the group and who you play with.
Yeah, it's super casual. So.
And last but certainly not least,
the experience. It is about playing this game for the experience. So if you're looking for something more grindy, with more mechanics, like anything along those lines, like MicroMacro is not a game that's going to just like it's not a typical board game in my mind. It's this
innovation.
Game, it's this game where you all just sitting around this table trying to solve these crimes on this gigantic map together. So you really are just in it and playing this game for the experience.
And it's cooperative as well, so there's no competition, although you could race and try to see who solves a crime first, but it's really about the experience and the activity at hand.
Yeah, it's like a double-edged sword. Some people like that, some people don't. And if you're on the don't side, then MicroMacro might not be for you.
But overall,
we really like this game. It's very fun, it's very quick, it's like a good starter. It usually gets out some laughs because we throw out some obnoxiously random stories. We usually play without the prompts, so...
I like the prompts because I like when the game tells you what to do, because sometimes you can't find it and you get frustrated. But I like that flexibility. I think there's a lot to love about this game. They've made it really friendly and really it can guide you if you're a little bit lost, but it can challenge you if you really want that challenge. It is 12 plus because there is some scenes of crime.
I mean, it's called Crime City, so...
Yeah, there's not... I don't think there's any direct crime happening, but there's the aftermath of a lot of crimes.
And there's like hints towards it, and then like you can see certain things happening that we probably wouldn't want even a 12-year-old to see, but that's besides the point.
Spooky. But really enjoy this game, would definitely recommend it. It's a fantastic game to really bring to somebody who hasn't played a lot of board games as well, and can really show and be like, hey, I want to be a part of this experience. What happened to Mr. Smith who got lost in the city?
Exactly. It's definitely a game that has a very big table presence, and it feels like the maps should be like Ilya said, they should be framed and put on the wall because it would be very fun to just like stand up and point.
And the crimes are so elaborate. They're not like the same. They're not the same crime every time. There's not like a murder that's been happened. It's always a little bit different, and it kind of tips it on his head sometimes. So.
Yeah, and sometimes you're following the victim. Sometimes you're following maybe the person that did it.
The perpetrator.
But anyways,
for our question of the day is, have you played Where's Waldo? Or have you even heard of it? Or is
I
there
Spy.
a regional variation of Where's Waldo that you played within where you were from?
Yeah, exactly. Any of those games that kind of like remind you of this, like what are they? Let us know.
Maybe it's a book where you have to find things. I remember those as well. Yeah, those were really fun.
I just remembered the I Spy books. Like they were like 12 pages, and you usually just like followed a story.
Only 12 pages?
Well, they weren't very long.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they were like almost the size of this. They're very very short, and usually like you had to find all of these things that it listed to like move on to the next page, and I thought that was always fun.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for watching. Give us that thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed our content. We always really appreciate it because it motivates us to do more wonderful videos like this.
Exactly. But until next time, this is us checking out.
Goodbye.
Bye.